Hello, my art-loving friends. I am Deborah Kaye, and I welcome you to Paint with a Passion. Today, we're going to paint this adorable kitty in a pumpkin for Meowy-Ween. It's super easy and it's super fun. Here's my recipe. You can pause here to gather what you need, or just refer to the list in the description area below this video. So get all your goodies together, and let's go make the magic happen as we paint with a passion. I'm painting on a gesso primed 6x8 inch pressboard. Using our sponge, we're going to cover the top third with blue. And then we're going to add some dabs of black paint around the edges of the blue and blend them together. Now, if the black blends in too far, just add a little more blue and vice versa. And keep blending until you have the sky just the way you want it. And try to keep the center bright blue, because once we add the moon in the center, it's going to give the illusion that the moon is lighting up the night sky. I really like using these pressboards. These are inexpensive, so when I'm trying out a new design, I'm not wasting any money on an expensive canvas. You can get them in bulk, and after you've painted and varnished the entire board front and back, you won't even know it's a pressboard. Next, using a clean sponge, we're going to cover the lower 2/3 with gray paint. And this is going to be the base for our wall. Make sure the paint is dry. And then the first thing we want to do is put down a protective surface for this next part. I'm using a plastic cutting board, but cardboard or a drop cloth will work just fine too. Next, dip your brush in some water, just a very small amount, and then mix it into some white paint. Now I'm using a fan brush, but you can use any brush you want. You could even use a toothbrush. And then point your brush where you want to sprinkle the paint and tap the brush with your other hand. You should test this out first and make sure that you have the right ratio and adjust it if needed, and then tap away. And when you reload your brush, just dip a little water on it and then mix it with the white and keep on going. This time, we're going to use black paint, and we're only going to sprinkle that over the gray area. Make sure that the water you're picking up on your brush is clear. Once our background is dry, let's grab our chalk pencil and draw in our main design. Using a stencil or something that's round, we need to add a moon. Next, we need to add Kitty's head. And then we need to add Kitty's neck. Then we add the pumpkin, We need to add some tree branches on each side, and this will give us some depth. And then we need to give Kitty a tail. Using gray, let's fill in the wall to make it even. Now I'm using a micro flat brush, but any brush will do. Using our super skinny fine linen brush, let's outline the moon in white, and then we'll fill it in with a small sponge. If you'd like to make your own super skinny fine lining brush, I've included the link in the description area below the video. Using the other side of our sponge, or a clean sponge, blend in a little brown while your white is still wet. It's hard to see the result in the video right now because of the lighting on the wet paint, so I added a picture here for you to reference. Moving right along, let's paint in our pumpkin. Start by using your fine lining brush to outline the ribs. And this is going to enable us to see the ribs through the paint so that we can highlight them with a darker orange. Then, using a sponge, fill in the pumpkin with the same color. Now, I chose pumpkin orange because I had it and it's so fitting, but your pumpkin doesn't even have to be orange. In fact, there's all kinds of different colored pumpkins out there. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Next, let's paint in the kitty. I'm using my super skinny fine linen brush to outline the kitty's head and neck. And then, using a micro flat brush, I'm going to fill in the rest. But I want to smooth out the brush strokes with a sponge because I want the surface smooth when I paint on the face details. And then I'm going to finish up painting in the tail using the fine lining brush. Now for some tree branches. Let's not take them down over the moon just yet. We'll do that when we go to add the leaves. Let's add the carved rim to our pumpkin. I'm mixing orange and yellow to try to get that inside rind color that pumpkins have once they're cut into. I'm saving the extra paint I mixed for a second coat and just in case I need touch up later. Alright, let's get back to the pumpkin. For the second coat on the pumpkin, we're going to start on one side and work our way across. Using a sponge, apply the lighter orange, just passing over the first rib. Then, with your fine brush, paint a line down the rib of the darker orange color. With a clean sponge, blend that darker line in by tapping along the rib, little tiny back and forth, back and forth. We don't want to overblend, we just want to soften the line. If you end up with the darker orange where you don't want it, just let it dry and then sponge over it with the lighter orange. And while we have the dark orange out, let's go ahead and outline the pumpkin using our super skinny fine linen brush. Using that pumpkin flesh paint that we mixed up, let's apply the second coat. And while we have the dark orange out, let's go ahead and fill in the center of the pumpkin. Let's erase all of the chalk lines and get a good look at our progress. Marvelous! Okay, so Kitty needs some paws. And now let's draw in Kitty's face. Now let's paint in Kitty's eyes and nose. Okay, so let's add some leaves. Now, in order to create the illusion of a shadow, let's add some black leaves first. I'm using a custom bushy blending brush. You can make your own blending brush by cutting down the bristles on a small round brush and then load it up with some paint and then just kind of let it half dry. Don't wash it out very good. Just leaving some of the paint at the base of the bristles so the base of the bristles are stiff. And then, but make sure the tip is clean, and then you will have yourself a wonderful little blending brush. You can also use a small coarse bristle brush and just spread out the bristles in different directions, kind of like little teeny tiny chicken feet. I recommend trying this out on a piece of cardboard or maybe a piece of paper first. And another great tip is to go ahead and varnish this area so that if you need to wipe away any of the paint, it'll come off real easy and you won't have to try to reblend your background. While the leaves are drying, let's add Kitty's pupils. You can do slits, you could do big round pupils. Just remember that the shape of the pupils is going to determine whether you have a happy kitty, a sad kitty, a mad kitty, or a scaredy cat. Okay, back to the leaves. Now I'm using Burgundy to add some autumn color to the leaves. And I don't want to completely cover the black. I just want to tap on some highlights. Once the burgundy is dry, I'm going to add some yellow to really make the trees pop. And make sure to add some leaves down over the moon at this point. Again, feel free to add some varnish over the moon before you add any leaves, and that way if you need to wipe them off, they come up real easy. Using some metallic silver, let's paint in the features to Kitty's face and outline the eyes and the nose. And let's use some black to do a little cleanup around the silver lines. Now let's outline Kitty's body in silver. Using a straight edge, let's draw some lines down the length of the gray area to pencil in our stone wall. I personally like to use my stencil for this because I can line the edge of the stencil up with the edge of the canvas and it'll make sure I have a level line. Now, using our super skinny fine linen brush, let's define our stones and paint the mortar in. We just paint around the stones that we drew in, and then we paint in all of the extra space. I think I need to add a few more branches to our trees. Ah, yes, that looks much better. Let's touch up Kitty's silver outline where the black mortar overlapped just a little bit. It's time to add some varnish. I'm using Duraclear with a small sponge paint roller. It is hands down the best way to apply varnish to flat paintings. And here we have it. Happy Meowy-Ween! Thank you all for joining me today, and a warm welcome to all of my new subscribers. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time to Paint with a Passion. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. I wish you peace, love, and happiness now and always. Bye!